Good afternoon and welcome back to Planner Craft. We're a little bit early, so I'll wait for a few more people to join. So this morning we were talking about the product influencing designs, and I thought put some of those into practice and maybe have a bit of fun. So one of the techniques that you'd like me to show, I believe, is the partial die cutting. So we'll start off with this card design here. So whether we decide to go for a stamped panel in the middle or an aperture in the middle.
She's frozen solid to you, look.
Oh dear. Keep forgetting while we're here melting.
Carol's on.
Hi Carol. I will have a look at that file as soon as possible. Okay. And hopefully we may have Jackie come and watch as well. So, was that from Tracy?
No, never had snow. Carol asked if she's got snow. No, she said no.
Okay, so I've gathered a few bits and bobs together. So I have all my adaptables ready. So we were talking about not worrying about sizes, just concentrating on design. So I've kind of hedged my bets and gone through all of them.
Zena and your mum have also popped in and said hello.
Hello Zena, hi Mum. So if I pop that to one side, I've pulled out a sheet of the 6x6 cardstock from Dovecraft, and I have my Art Nouveau style die with the shaped edge to start with for the partial die cutting, and I have a huge ruler. For some reason my little ruler's gone walkies, so I'm just going to give myself a reference line going from one corner to the opposite corner, so we're going to go diagonally across our page, and you want to try and get this as accurate as possible. Okay, so when you're doing this on your card you might want to go a bit lighter, but it helps if you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now to this I'm going to work out roughly where I want my...
What's going on?
What?
I think the image isn't updating.
Oh no, not again. Not again. Okay, so I've done the diagonal line from
Wait, let's see if it catches up.
tip to tip, and we'll see if that will catch up. Hopefully you can still hear us okay. Do you want to just check Streamlabs for the quality of the stream?
The camera's just gone, so that means it should be back.
Yep.
That's saying it's fine. Yep, doesn't say there's any issues with that.
Okay, that's fine then. It's probably just the camera.
That's back.
So,
wonderful.
with your line across diagonally from tip to tip, we're then going to work out our aperture in the middle. So for this I'm going to be a bit kind of OGT with where I'm going to put the line, just so you can see it. And let's go for... Sometimes it's just easier to try and have a reference point on your ruler that you use.
And hello to Nuala there as well, who joins in the middle there.
Okay, so I'm using the edge of my little hair on my ruler, and I'm going to draw a line across. Okay, I'm going to rotate the card. I'm going to go to the same point on my ruler. And you want to try and get this as straight as possible, because you're going to use this for the guide for your plate in a minute. Now if you wanted to, you could do this all by eye and just wing it, but for this design, because it's quite accurate, I want to close as I possibly can to being accurate myself. If you're late joining, just let us know which bit you missed, and I can always go over it quick before we go too far.
If you do have any questions, do ask. I am here manning the comments.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to say Ian's here.
Yeah, hovering in the background as usual.
Okay, so we have our diagonal line from point to point, and you're only going to do that in one direction. You're then going to put your border around, so that's where we did our lining up with our ruler. So if you have a gridded ruler, it's quite handy for this section.
So you say she couldn't, she doesn't have a straight eye.
That's what the ruler's for.
And Carol says she'll watch this morning's later.
Okay. So next what we want to do, these dice have a little guideline to help you line it up. Okay. So I'm just going to pop that line so I can see through it, and then I want to make sure that I've also got it centered, so I'm going to use the gap between the swirl just to make sure that I have that bit accurate. And as luck would have it, for where I've drawn my line, the tip of this little tiny sharp point in there actually fits more or less corner to corner. Now this is where you get your assistant.
What do you want to do? Rip you some tape?
Yeah, go on. So if I line that back up, so point to point.
Little bits or?
Yeah, fairly little bits.
Trusty assistant.
So at this point, you may decide, well actually I think that aperture is going to be too big for where this is going to sit, and that's fine too. But it's still a useful position to have for a guide. Thank you. If you're finding that your tape's struggling to stick, it's the heat, so bear with it.
Any more or?
That should be it, she says. So just because I want to go inside this base, I'm just going to very quickly pick a line that just brings it in that little bit. So I'm going to go with this black line here up against my pencil mark, just so I can go like that and like that. And I'll do the same on this line. And on this one.
Don't forget it's a magnetic ruler. So
Yeah, magnetic ruler, so it's going to snap to it, that's fine. I don't mind, it can snap to it all it likes.
That's really for putting up your
The die. Just going to pop that one in there. And finally, going to have to change the cutting. Try and warm it up and flatten it back out again.
I've got a little one over here you could have. That's flat.
Okay. So hopefully, when we go to there, that's going to be right. Okay. So at this point, just give your tape another good firm down, as it's been kind of lifting with your magnetic ruler, if you like me. Okay, are you ready to swap over?
I am. So we have our new camera set up. Hopefully you'll be able to see our screen. I'll just check that it's updating properly. So
Yeah. Before we go too far.
Streamlabs says it is.
Okay.
So let's just check.
So So for this one I'm going to be cutting downwards. So I have my rather well etched cutting plate at the bottom.
That's doing cool.
Okay. Let me just pop a light on. So try not to be in the
Do you want me
shadows
to
too
come
much.
and crank?
If you want to.
Um,
It may be alright. So there we go.
Okay.
So I'm going to slide my other cutting plate underneath my rollers. And this is going to be where you're going to want to go nice and slowly and carefully. So where your top cutting plate is where your die will get cut. So you want to line the edge of this plate, so hopefully you can just see it's just there, up against your drawn line. I'm going to gently guide it in until it starts to stick. So hopefully you can see that. Okay. I'm gently going to crank the handle. And catch the plate. Whoop. And don't dribble with it. So if we turn that over, you can see that the first part of our die has been cut. Okay. So very carefully put that back on the plate.
Carl says, woo! Clara. New setup. New camera.
Pop my plate back through.
Fortunately, that's not the camera shaking, that's the die cutting machine.
Yeah. it takes some oomph, this one, I have to say. So I'm going to guide this in and through. And line it up with that second line. Try and make sure your bottom plate doesn't go off too much. Shouldn't hurt though for edges, so you can go for it. That's only worse than it did.
Always sounds fun when you're firing things out the other side of us platinum. Bet your mum's cringing at the sound of that.
Yeah, she'll be wanting me to get some more plates. Okay, so we have the start of our aperture. So now if we go back over to the other camera, we can reposition our die for the next section. Okay. And carefully peel off our die. Now because I'm working on straight onto plain card, I can reuse the same bit of washi tape. For a minute then I thought I'd cut it straight across. It's like, no. It's just an illusion. Pokey tool. There we are. I got me tweezers.
Okay, so that might be better.
Oh, go on.
Proper pokey.
Yeah. Okay. Go, getting there. Slowly. Let's lift it up. Okay. So I'm just going to knock out the waste just to make life a little bit easier. You want to make sure that none of this actually clings to your card anywhere. Otherwise you get a lovely dent. Now, these centre sections, don't worry about those just yet. We're going to tidy those up at the end with a craft knife. clear the waste out of my dye too. There we go.
This is more than a century.
Shoot a little bit as well. Should do. The rest of that one should pop out. So now we're going to apply our dye back on again. So we're going to find our centre line. So if you look at your cut pieces, you'll see that your centre line lines back up to there.
Yeah, she said this is the one that Natalie was lucky enough to win off Pete.
Yep.
This morning. So it arrived yesterday. Natalie went, "Ooh, I know what I can do with that."
Because I'd already planned to do like a process stream anyway, hadn't I? So.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going point to point again with the little fine points, as well as checking that I've got that lined up there, and fingers crossed. Double check before sticking.
That's alright, Tracy. Tracy says, "Thank you for showing us how to do this."
That's okay. There's more to me than the scanning cut. Don't get me wrong, I love using my scanning cut, but sometimes it's just like going a bit old school as well, especially when the head's playing up, when screens aren't so great for me.
Need some more tape, are you alright?
I should be alright, I think. Therefore I am, I think. Change camera.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So I'm going to go back on my cutting mat again. Put in my yellow plate.
Carol asked, "Are they edgeable dyes?"
They are. If I pass you the bit card. Stuck to that one. There you go.
They are the Crafter's Companions Desire collection. This one is the one that is using is Toulouse. It doesn't say whether or not it's actually.
It's a creator card die. Or come on. There we go. Let's try to catch it. And I'm nearly there, one last cut. So we're going to rotate it. Now this is the tricky one, so you want to try and move that card as little as possible, if you can help it, because at this point it's pretty much loose in there. So we've got our little pencil dot there, and our line there.
Joe says, "I love the die cutting too, but unfortunately they seem to be so expensive."
The expensive dyes is partly the steel that's in them, but secondly it's the chemicals as well, because of the regulations and red tape, isn't that? So.
Yeah. Carol says, "Super smooth camera work by me today." Makes a change from the jigging around of a camera today. Go back over.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So coming back to this one. So you can see we have our piece that's cut. It overlaps slightly because the die extends slightly beyond your fold point, but that's fine. So we can still use our outside border if you want to, just we put something over those two sections there, just to cover it up. So that could be a handmade flower. frame for one card. And this is going to be the tricky one. So I'll start by easing it out from the centre first, just because that should be slightly easier.
So you're up a little bit off camera. It's okay, you've come back.
Yeah, it's just because I was trying to see into the die. So,
That's really going around there.
cool, blimey. You expect that kind of breeze at the seaside. Always take the waste out your die. Look after them. Plus it's quite therapeutic.
Would you like me to sort that for you? So you can carry on.
Yeah.
Pass me
No
your pokey
ping-
tool.
No pinging them at me then.
Pass me your pokey tool rather than you play this, because I like the pokies.
There you go. Just because it's purple.
Yep.
Okay. So we can see there that that one was a little bit moved, but that's fine. It's not bad going. It's certainly not bad for doing it live, so to speak. So I'm just going to take my tweezers and just pop these last few bits out.
Can't say it dried her washing super quick this morning.
I'm just going to pop those out. Okay, so once you've got all the bits that will come out on their own out, just clear up any kind of paper threads that you get from the die cutting process. So you're working with a nice clean frame. Is my little razor over there, Ian?
Oh, your finger one.
Yeah, me
Oh, your razor.
yeah,
That thing.
that thing. Yeah. Can I have it without the
What's happened to the bottom of the one?
It's pulled the thingy off. There we go.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Pipe,
Yeah. Okay, so with my battery eraser, I'm just going to clear up my pencil lines quick before I go too far. So I'm doing this while I've still got my centre panel in, because otherwise you could leave it a bit too vulnerable. Don't do that.
What did you do?
I flicked it off and then fake came with it. Okay. Like that. Keeps sticking to me. Okay. So if you have any questions at this point, just pop them in the comments while I'm just fiddling, because I want to get this bit right before I cut it.
Tracy says battery eraser. That's spoiled. Well.
It's fab. It is absolutely fab. It's probably one of the best gadgets you could possibly have, because you saw how strong those lines were, and yet it's fab. Love it. Okay, so at this point we have two options. We can cut out this square entirely, so then all this extra detail pops out as well. Or we can just do the detail that where it hasn't quite cut all the way around the shape. So I think for this one I'm just going to go just round the inside with the little bits of shapes. So there's me saying I can cope with that ruler, I'm not sure I can. Need me other one. Oh, I can see it, it's hiding. There we go. Too many rulers. So bring me knife. Actually, better than that knife. Can you just pass me my finger one, sweetie?
Ooh, there it goes.
Ah, it's okay. I put it right up there because it's handy. My fault, sorry. So I'm just going to draw a line between the actual cut points. I'm not going to worry about where the pencil line was originally. So just going to very lightly.
Yeah, Amazon, or you've still got your discount code for Derwent if you want to go direct as it's a Derwent electric eraser. And if you use the code thankyou20 #DR, all in capitals, you'll get 20% off and free shipping. Yes, thank you, Carol. Yes. She was saying about the code as well.
Okay, so if you find that you've got a few bits where you just need to help it out, you can follow the line. And just pop it through.
And the website, Tracy, is derwentart.com. If you do want to have a nosy.
And as I said, it is a really useful gadget to have. Not just for your drawing and using, but just for crafting.
I don't think they're hugely expensive either.
No, and I believe there may be a slightly different design now to what I've got. I may be wrong.
Yeah, I'll put the code in for you.
But yeah, that was a little thank you from Dermot for doing these streams to keep you all entertained and crafting, and there have been some really lovely things that have happened from different companies. So.
Yeah. There you go, and I'll put the web link in as well.
So I'm going to go over to the next side, and I'm going to do the same again. So you're literally doing a dot to dot.
Carol says the only thing about crafting, you keep seeing things, so you need a millionaire in the family. Or trade accounts.
Yeah, trade accounts. Definitely trade accounts.
Which we are fortunate to have with some of the companies.
Yeah. Well, we can. We've been kind of supporting people, haven't we?
Yeah, we are. Where we can, we'll always help people if we can. Haven't we?
Yeah.
Joe says, I suppose this is where you could add it to the scan and cut and do a direct cut to the computer and then create your own shape if you wanted. Couldn't you?
Right, okay, it depends on the angel policy of the die. So, the reason I show you the partial die cutting is for those dies where you can't scan them in. Otherwise, if the company are happy for you to scan it in, you didn't put it on Do Not Disturb, did you?
No, it's the garage. I'll find the number and call them back quick.
Okay. Hang on. Drop that one over my shoulder. Drop that camera over my shoulder. And I'll carry on. Okay, so I'm just going to continue joining these pieces well. You need to help me on that. But yeah, if the company that you're using the die of is happy for you to use the scan and cut, such as I believe Natalie do and a few others, then you could just die cut your square as normal. So without having to worry about partial die cutting, and then you can weld a square to your centre.
Sorry, that was my mobile making.
One heck of a racket.
There we go. Right, that's good.
Made me jump actually. Also, not wise thing to do with a
Yes,
good.
I didn't want to put the garage on the phone on silent because of the garage. Right, I'll go and call them back.
Okay. Take your time, carefully. There we go. I'm just gonna. It's a bit of a different view for you. Now I can't see comments at the moment, so if you are shouting at me, I won't see until Ian comes back. Okay. Just going to take those little bits of threads out of there that we couldn't get before. And just do these little joins in here. And there we go. So, oh, a little bit, I missed that. Okay. So, hopefully we have our finished frame. There we go. So that's your partial die cutting. So if we go back to our original design, minus our little offcuts that Ping have put, we either did a aperture in the middle, so we could then cut a line inside, and if you wanted to at this point you could get your scan and cut to just do a background scan and then cut out your square, or we can just leave it flush as it is and actually stamp onto that, or actually do like a top to go on top. So I think for this one I'm going to go on top just for now, And I'm going to do all my die cutting first, and then I can always decorate them up afterwards. So for this one, I'm going to go to a 6x6 adaptable. You could actually go down to a 5x5 and it would still fit. But I haven't got any of those. So, very carefully now I'm going to get my scoreboard. And it's going to do that. Ian, help.
On my way.
Bone folder trapped under. Thank you.
That's okay.
I was trying to do that so carefully and then failed so miserably.
Yeah. Right, now let's put this on Do Not Disturb because they've rung, which is cool.
And is yours alright?
Yep, past her MOTs have been serviced as well. Which was just well, generally. So, I think the exchange put 3 new wiper blades on it. So.
Okay.
It's just a biggie, really. Are people happy with the view, or
would you like to switch back? Suppose they don't mind as long as they don't drop a camera on us again.
Let's have a look at the comments and see what people are saying.
Okay, so I'm just going to fold my card in half. And I know my bone folder's here somewhere. There we go. I'm just going to go work from the back. So you always want to try and have a leading edge. So whichever one is slightly in front, I tend to just swap that round to the front.
Right, I have yes, the car passed, so yeah, I can answer that one. And Carol wants to know if that type of knife is easy to use and hold than a normal craft knife.
It is infinitely more accurate. They would tell you that I was spending probably all day using one of these, just going ding, 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 between different card designs. So the only thing I would say is eventually you do get like pressure sores just on top of your fingers. So just do give it a break every so often and try not to put too much pressure on that point of it. Okay? Because you do tend to...
Yeah. Press something the wrong way.
Yeah, so lighter is better. But I'm as heavy-handed as the next person, so I'm just guilty of that.
We're all happy with the camera angle at the moment, so until we need to change it, we'll leave it there.
Okay. So I'm looking at this in situ and I'm thinking, do I want to go 3D or do I want to leave it flat? And I think for this one, I noticed there's a little bit of pencil mark left. Very gently. Very, very gently. I'm going to just go flat onto the card base, and then I can always do some... I'm thinking some nice alternate flowers would look gorgeous on that background actually. And then I might just do like a square and actually turn it 45 so that then becomes the diamond in the middle, so you can still see this detail that we've put around here. Would be good. So what I said is I'm going to make all the cards first and then do all the decoration after.
Okay.
Just so we can concentrate on the die cutting.
Yeah.
Oop.
Tracy has asked, that knife looks like it would be good so as to not cut you if you slip.
Yep, I would agree with that one.
And Cal's off to the range tomorrow, so she might have a look if she remembers.
I don't think the range do them. The one that I was using is a Fisker's one, but Dovecraft do one that is even better than that, or at least I think it's even better than that. Because not only does it have the blades in, it has the pokey tool end in it, it has a pencil lead that you can pop in it, it has the veining tool, doesn't it? It has the embossing ball tool, and there's something else. I'm sure there's something else.
And it's the knife as well, isn't it? 'Cause it's got the 4.
Yeah. So that one's quite good. Are you getting caught up in cable again?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just popping a bit of glue in all the wider places on the design. If anything loose, I can always add a bit after, so. It's one of the benefits of this little detail tip.
Let me have a quick look.
That's what I was going to say. But Dovecraft have actually retired it, and I know for certain in Worcester that you can't get anymore because we bought up the last of the stock, and they had them in Wilco's, which is where we got ours from. Okay, so I'm going to go that way round.
That's the one.
And because this particular design doesn't have matching corners, what I may do is put a little 3D flower at each corner. So just them there, just so it offsets them. Otherwise I think it tends to look a bit like you've gone wrong. So make a feature of it rather than trying to... Ooh.
But it's discontinued. You can't get it.
Oh. That's a shame. But you may still find somebody has stock somewhere of it, and it's fab. It's fab, fab, fab. Don't know why they've discontinued it. I think they must be mad.
Yeah, it's stock there as well.
So Ian's doing his best to find. So before we go too far, I'm going to go back to my frame because don't waste anything. And this time I'm going to go for the 7x7. So we know that we started with a 6x6 piece of card. So we can go to the 7x7 and actually have a board around.
That's the one, isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm going to apply my glue.
Okay.
So whereas this side was textured, the other side is smooth, so we can actually decorate it if you want to.
I have found a
just for
website that sells it.
Okay.
And has it looks like it has it in stock. It says available to purchase. I'm just going to see what they do shipping, or if it says anywhere if they're shipping.
Who is it? Is it one I know?
Parchment paper crafts,
Alright.
or perfect parchment craft, I should say.
So pop in the comments if you've used them before. I can't say that I have. Okay. So at this point our die would actually fit back into there. So if you wanted to do like the partial technique in reverse, you could actually slot in the die and then just use the corner of your cutting plate to actually cut that section. But it all depends on how much leeway you have with your plate. So for instance, my cutting machine's an A4, but I was using the smaller plate so that I had lots of room to manoeuvre. Okay. And just to try and save room, I will score that as well.
And they ship to Australia as well. Fantastic.
That's just what you wanted.
Just
Okay.
so let's pop a link in there. Yes, that's the one I found, Carol. There's a link, and they also ship to Australia, so
Tracy will be well away.
yes.
I'll slightly off. Yeah. There we go. So we have one backing ready. Next, let's go for.
Do your circular one, because that's all the other ones are
Okay,
triangular,
so
aren't
break
they?
it up
So-
with a circle.
yeah, do a circular one.
Okay, before I go too far, let's stick the pin back in me glue.
So yes, they were just validating the card before they return it to us.
Cool. I'm going to go for the round one. And with this one, we were looking at actually chopping it up rather than doing the partial die cutting in the machine. So let's go for, which colour should I go for this time in? Should I go lemon for a change?
Yeah.
Lemon it tends to get a bit more, doesn't it? So. Two sheets. Okay, with this one we haven't got the guidelines, so I'm just going to line it up to the edge of my card. Going to take some of the same purple tape. Okay. Make sure you get any of the offcuts off it. I'm going to need to move the camera back.
Oh, you.
Mind you, if I can use the Gemini for this one, can't I? So, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to do the camera back.
I'm a very lazy cameraman, don't I? There we go. Oh, that's a stretch. Might need a bit more purple tape actually. It's starting to lose its stick a bit. Thank you.
Sorry. That's not a bad position there, you know.
You like that, do you? Okay, so
Might just leave it there.
the one we're going to cut into. And yeah, let's go that way. Magnet. And the shim. And the other plate. And hopefully do you wonder if I was going to have to get fresh batteries then?
Fresh battery for a plug.
Okay. So because this is not quite good to the edges. I'm just going to gently just pull it apart. And we can take off the tape.
If you want me to get bits out of stuff.
Aha!
Oh,
If you like this little tool, by the way, be quick. They've still got them in Aldi. Yeah, Mum, when you're ordering your cards, get yourself the grey set. There we go. Make short work of getting the gunk out of your dies. Then I'm going to turn round.
that's not bad. £10.99 with postage. 1 to 3 days for delivery in the UK.
For which
Craft
bit?
knife.
Alright, yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to go for my stickiest bit first and go to the strongest bit of card. Give it the best chance of sticking. So you want to get the bits off your plate as well, because you don't want them being etched into you.
Are we going again?
Yep, it will be. Okay, just put this tape back down.
Oh, you can't put it back in from the back, you have to do it from the front.
Yeah. Okay. Plate.
Okay.
Okay.
Just get it changed in a minute, don't we?
Huh?
To get changed again.
Yep. Now the question is, do you want your vote counts to stay the same tonight, or would you like us to do a bit more on these so that we can show you actually decorating them up?
You can always have the vote counts on decorating them.
Yeah, yeah, and save the 3 you want for next week. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my tweezers, just knock out the I'm finding little bits of card everywhere for the next few days. Okay. But the little toolkit is £6.99. I don't know what the delivery is on Aldi, but you get the tweezers, the pokey tool with quilling tool, so it's like dual ended. You get the die clearer thingy. You get little pair of scissors and also a little shaping mat that you can use for doing your flowers, which I don't think is a bad little set for £6.99. It fits in Ducky die storage as well if you buy their die storage. Okay, so next I'm going to straighten up these edges, just because they do look slightly off. Very slightly, but just wondering which is the better way to do that. I might just use, how far is it out? Let's have a look. So it's only just slightly out. I'll go with it. I'll stop worrying. So, if we go back to our designs, we could do it so that we are adaptable with the same die and then layer these over the top, or we could do it like so. So I'm going to put one together like this.
Which one are you going for?
The little corner one with the space in the middle.
Oh.
So to get the space in the middle, if we go on the 6x6, you're actually going to be quite close. So I'm going to go up to, let's see how a 7x7 looks when it's folded.
Counters you bought one ages ago for the sex.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool, and the tweezers are really, really useful because they get into all the little holes in your dies as well. And they also save your fingers if you're using your heat gun. So let's mark our fold again. So although it's a 7-inch, it's actually 13.5 inches long. So that was the 6 3/4, which goes back there. There we go. On my scoreboard. I can do it this way around so you can see this time. So we can line up our pencil mark with our score line. And that's definitely not right. Okay. Never assume. It's because it's bent in the middle. So we're going to need to flatten this over the weekend. It's a pain. Yep, 13.5. There's moments where you think, why not got that worked out on it? Yeah, that's right. That's better. So, bottom up, not the top one. And score down. Valley in. And just to prove that this is useful. Got a mark on your card? No more.